The respiratory system and circulatory system work together to provide oxygen to the body's cells and remove carbon dioxide. Here's how the process works. Air entry and filtration, respiratory system. 1. Nose, nasal cavity. Air enters through the nostrils and passes into the nasal cavity. The nasal cavity has tiny hairs, cilia, and mucus to filter dust, dirt, and microorganisms from the air. 2. Pharynx and larynx. The air moves into the pharynx, throat, and larynx, voice box. The epiglottis ensures air goes to the trachea, not the esophagus, food pipe. 3. Trachea and bronchus. Air enters the trachea, windpipe, which is a tube reinforced with cartilage to keep it open. The trachea divides into 2 primary bronchi, one for each lung. These bronchi divide into secondary and tertiary bronchi, which lead to smaller passages called bronchioles. Number 4. Alveoli. Air sacs. Air finally reaches millions of tiny sacs called alveoli in the lungs. Alveoli have thin walls surrounded by capillaries where gas exchange occurs. Gas exchange in the lungs. 1. Oxygenation of blood. Oxygen from the air in the alveoli diffuses across the thin membrane into the blood in the capillaries. The oxygen binds to hemoglobin in red blood cells. 2. Removal of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, a waste product in the blood, diffuses into the alveoli to be exhaled. Namashith heart and circulation, circulatory system. 1. Pulmonary circulation, lungs and heart. Deoxygenated blood. Blood from the body, low in oxygen and high in carbon dioxide, enters the right atrium of the heart via veins. Blood moves to the right ventricle, which pumps it to the lungs through the pulmonary artery. In the lungs, blood is oxygenated and returns to the heart's left atrium via the pulmonary vein. Number 2. Systemic circulation, body and heart. Oxygenated blood. Blood from the left atrium enters the left ventricle, which pumps it to the body through the aorta. Oxygen is delivered to tissues, and carbon dioxide is collected, turning the blood deoxygenated. This deoxygenated blood returns to the heart via veins to repeat the process. Filtering and protection in the respiratory system. Mucus and cilia. In the trachea trap dust, microbes, and pollutants. The cilia move trapped particles upward to the throat to be swallowed or expelled. The immune system in the lungs also fights off pathogens. Oxygen delivery and cellular use. Oxygen carried by hemoglobin in red blood cells is delivered to tissues and cells. Cells use oxygen in mitochondria to generate energy, ATP, in a process called cellular respiration, releasing carbon dioxide as a byproduct. Recirculation. The oxygen-depleted blood is transported back to the lungs to repeat the process, maintaining a continuous cycle critical for life.